In this video, we'll see how to deploy VXLAN using a technique known as Flood and Learn, which essentially means that we'll be using Multicast to discover the VTAPs on a spine and leaf architecture. Now, if this is the first time you're watching this video, because I'm going to make a video series around VXLAN, I do recommend that you watch the previous one because that's going to help you get started with the basic foundation of VXLAN. If you already have some understanding about VXLAN, then no worry. This is going to be a continuation from that one. Nothing advanced at this stage. Okay, so before we jump straight into the configuration, we have to understand what is the problem with the previous scenario where we didn't have multicast, or we didn't have this flood and learn behavior. So I'll be using this topology, and if you want, you can download the topology that will be in the video description. So let me see if I can get my pen here. So in the previous one, using headed replication, we had to announce the VTAPs. We had to configure them manually at each VTAP. Now, this is our spine and leaf architecture, meaning the switch here at the top, they are the spine switches, and the switch here at the bottom, they are the leaf switches, which also means that they are VXLAN architecture. They are VTAPs, so responsible for encapsulating, decapsulating VXLAN traffic. And I should be able to spell that right. Okay. And so the problem with head-end replication is that we had to manually go on leaf 1 and say, look, if you want to, there is another VTAP on the same VNI, and that's going to be leaf 3. And we had to go on leaf 3 and essentially say the same thing. Look, there is another VTAP on the network that's going to be leaf 1. And in a small environment like this, okay, we were able to configure both VTAPs. But imagine if you have like 10, 100, or I don't know, 120 VTAPs on a large network. That becomes a problem. So it's not a scalable solution. So another way is to dynamically discover the VTAPs that are part of the same VNI. And to do that, we're going to use multicast. Now, you have to understand, you have to know a little bit about multicast, but you don't have to be an expert on multicast to understand how it's going to be applied in a VXLAN environment or spine and leaf architecture. But essentially with multicast, we have two ways to operate with a multicast. We have the dense mode and we have the sparse mode. Okay, sparse mode. Okay, and actually we have a third one, that's sparse dense mode. But essentially what we use in the VXLAN environment is sparse mode. And sparse mode, it has its own architecture, and we need something called as the RP device, or the rendezvous point. This essentially means this is a central device in the multicast tree or multicast network that is responsible to know, okay, what are the different groups or servers in the multicast network, and also what are the different clients that want to join those groups, that want to get the traffic from those servers. And so every device in the network has to know how to reach this RP, which essentially we're just going to assign an IP address. Okay, and so once we have an RP, or the rendezvous point, we also need to have the multicast group. So in terms of multicast, so we have unicast, that's normally traffic 1-to-1. We have broadcast, that's traffic 1 to everyone. And we have multicast, and multicast is traffic from one to a group of devices. And what is going to allow us is to say, okay, we have these VTAPs, and we're going to associate these VTAPs with these multicast group that are going to be associated with a specific VNI. So for instance, let's say we're going to have VNI 1, 2, 3, 10, and we're going to associate with the multicast group 239.111. Okay, and this way, whenever I say R5, it wants to talk with R8 and doesn't know initially, it's going to send its traffic to leaf 1. Leaf 1 It's going to look at its VLAN table, then it's going to look at the VXLAN, how to, like, is there anyone else in this VNI? And instead of flooding to other devices, it's just going to send that broadcast traffic to the multicast group, and every VTAP that is part of the same multicast group is going to receive that traffic and is going to handle that traffic. In this case, we'll have leaf 3, so I'm not going to use leaf 2 in this example. So leaf 3 is going to be part of the same multicast group as leaf 1, and this way leaf 3 is going to receive, is going to handle, is going to forward to R8, and that's essentially the magic here, is that leaf 1 will be able to discover leaf 3 dynamically, as we're going to see in a minute. Okay, so hope that's clear. So now let's get to our configuration, and the only thing I've done so far is to configure OSPF. So we need OSPF as the underlay routing protocol, so that's all the devices that should have reachability to each other. Just want to make sure that everything is working. So if I look at leaf 1 routing table, you can see that it's establishing adjacency with spine 1, okay? And if I look at my routing table, I should have leaf 3 in my routing table. So, and I can ping 13 from 011, so that's leaf 1 loopback IP address, okay? That's great. So to start, we have OSPF enabled. So now we need to handle also multicast. And to handle multicast, again, we need an RP, so an IP address that's going to act as the RP. So it has to be reachability to all devices in the network. We're going to use the spine 1 IP address, so the loopback IP address, as the RP in the network. So first we're going to spine 1, and we're going to enable multicast, which essentially means we have to enable PIM. Maybe here. Okay, so PIM is enabled. So now we are going to enable IP PIM sparse mode on the loopback interface, and also on the interfaces towards leaf 1 and leaf 2, which are 2 and 4. So IP PIM sparse mode, and now I have to say that the RP address is going to be spine 1. Okay, this is done. So now let's do the same on leaf 1. So I'm going to enable PIM. So we grab leaf 3. Okay, that should be done here. I'm going to enable also sparse mode on the loopback interface, and also we only have to enable on interface 1. And now we have to say, look, the RP address is going to be 01. So I'm going to give it some time. So here, same thing, loopback IP address, IP PIM sparse modes, interface, that should be 1, not mistaken. IP PIM sparse mode, and IP PIM RP address 192.168.0.1. Okay, so that should be done. If I go to spine 1 and I run the command show IP PIM neighbors, I should see that I have 2 neighbors, so leaf 1 and leaf 3. If I look at my routing table, so IP and route, okay, not yet, because now they have to join the multicast group that I'm going to create. Okay, so at least from multicast perspective, it's running, it's okay. So now we're going to essentially do the same steps as we did before, except the way the leaves, they're going to handle the discovery of the other VTAP. So if we go to leaf 1, so we're going to use VLAN 10, and so I'm going to enable the feature VN segment VLAN based, and also the feature NV overlay. Just do the same thing here. So feature NV overlay. Okay. And feature VN segment VLAN paste. Okay, that's great. Now let's go to VLAN 10, and we're going to use VLAN segment. That's going to be 123.10. And if you go to interface 1.3, it says each port access VLAN 10. Okay, so it should be up. So now let's create the NVE interface. So we're going to source from a loopback interface, and we're going to enable this interface. And so now we're going to say it's going to be member of VNI 123.10, and the multicast group is going to be 239.1111. Okay, this is done. So now let's do the same on leaf 3. So we should have VLAN 10, VN segment is going to be 123.10. Okay, and so let's configure the interface, switch port access VLAN 10. Okay, it's up. So now let's handle the VXLAN traffic. So enable the interface, sort from our loopback. Okay, and the member VNI is going to be 123.10. The multicast group is going to be 239.1.1. Okay, that should be enough. So now if we take a look at the VNI, so see if they were discovered already, not yet. And if we look at the MAC address, so we only see that's going to be R8 MAC address. So let's go to leaf 1, show MAC address. So we only have R5 MAC address locally, so we don't know anything about remote MAC address on both leaves. Okay, a problem there. Now if we initiate the traffic from R5, so let's let me double check which IP address I have here. So 10.5, make sure that I don't have any bug, and try to ping 10.8. Okay, so sending pings now. Let's see, it looks like okay, so it's arrived on R8, the last one. Okay, so it took some time there. Let's look at the MAC address of leaf 1. So leaf 1 now knows about R8 MAC address and knows it via NVE peer. So it's discovered leaf 3. So if we run the command again, show NVE peer, should see that we have leaf 3, state as up, learn type, data plane, which is great. So let's look at leaf 3. We should see R5 MAC address, this one here, known dynamically via leaf 1 peer 192.168.0.11. So if we run the ping command again, you should see that's going to be 100% successful, which is great. So other verification commands that we can use are show NVE VNI. So we have information about the VNI and the multicast group associated with that VNI. It's up, it's a layer 2, okay, and we should see the same information on leaf 3. And if we check information about the multicast group from spine 1 perspective, so if we check the routing table, the multicast table again, we should see that both leaves, they are part of the same multicast group 239. So that's going to be leaf 1, and also leaf 3 part of the same group. Okay, the lab is working, but if we were to deploy this in a production environment, we still need to solve one key requirement, is that if the RP spine 1 becomes unavailable, we're going to lose our multicast tree. So in order to prevent that from happening, we need to have at the minimum 2 RP or 2 spines that are going to make sure that the RP address is always available. And we're going to solve this problem by deploying RP Anycast, but we're going to cover more about this in the upcoming video.